At the time of his death, J. Paul Getty was the wealthiest private citizen on Earth. Shortly after the Second World War, Getty invited 3 friends out for dinner. They arrived at a bustling London restaurant, but before stepping inside, Getty suggested they take a walk. His friends were confused and hungry. Getty refused to walk through the doors until precisely 10 o'clock. His reasoning was mathematical. Arriving earlier meant paying a 10-shilling cover charge per person, a fee that vanished on the hour. He was unwilling to part with a single extra pound for 15 minutes of convenience. Getty's behavior highlights a simple economic truth. If a billionaire builds deliberate friction against pointless microfees, an average earner cannot justify ignoring them. Your ability to generate income has almost nothing to do with your ability to generate wealth. Earning power means nothing without a strict framework for capital allocation. The modern retail environment is precision-engineered to separate you from your cash. One-click checkouts and algorithmic targeting remove every ounce of friction between a fleeting desire and a completed purchase. Look at this flowchart of a typical high earner. We call this the leaky bucket. A large monthly income pours in at the top, but it immediately drains out through a dozen automated subscriptions, impulse buys, and heavy loan payments. By the time it reaches the bottom, the actual wealth captured is a tiny fraction of the gross. To plug those holes, you have to reverse engineer the retail environment. You have to intentionally install rigid, mathematical circuit breakers into your daily financial decisions. Securing your financial future is a direct trade. You are exchanging the dopamine of instant convenience for long-term autonomy. The first circuit breaker forces you to revalue money entirely. This is the hourly wage equation. Here is how it works. Take a price tag, say 5,000 rupees. Now divide it by your actual hourly take-home pay. If you earn 50,000 a month working 200 hours, your labor is worth 250 rupees an hour. That 5,000 rupee impulse buy represents 20 hours of your physical labor. Evaluating purchases in units of physical labor breaks the hypnotic appeal of a price tag. It delays gratification and turns a casual swipe of a card into a heavy, taxing decision. The second circuit breaker targets the physical retail space. We call it the shopping perimeter. The rules are rigid. You enter the market with a handwritten list, you shop alone, you go on a full stomach, and you avoid stepping foot in a mall on the first of the month, right after a paycheck lands, when your discipline is statistically at its weakest. This approach demands a sacrifice. You have to stop treating retail centers as weekend entertainment, giving up the leisure and social bonding of window shopping with your family. When a store's layout is meticulously designed to trigger unplanned spending, introducing intentional physical and mental hurdles is the only mathematical defense you have. Those minor daily hurdles matter because cheap habits scale aggressively over time. Let's run the ROI on a 100 rupee a day cigarette habit. 100 rupees a day is 40,000 a year. Redirect those funds into an investment yielding 10%. For 20 years, progress is steady and linear. But at year 40, compounding goes vertical, yielding over 2 crore rupees. Breaking a daily behavioral loop requires significant willpower upfront, but the mathematical outcome turns spare change into a multi-crore safety net. Plugging the small leaks buys you time. Next, you have to defend against the massive, structural financial commitments sold as mandatory middle-class milestones, starting with life insurance. This comparison shows the difference between investment hybrid policies and pure protection. Term insurance provides the necessary baseline of 10 times your annual income coverage at a fraction of the cost, whereas money-back policies charge vastly higher premiums for inadequate protection. The catch here is psychological. Term insurance offers zero survival benefit. You don't get a payout if you live. You have to possess the discipline to take the cash you saved on premiums and invest it yourself. That discipline becomes even more critical when navigating the single most dangerous wealth trap for the middle class, financing a rapidly depreciating vehicle. To protect your cash flow, run every car purchase through the 20-4-10 equation. You need a 20% down payment. The loan term must never exceed 4 years, and the monthly payment cannot cross 10% of your gross monthly income. Then you apply the override rule. The total purchase price of the vehicle must remain under 50% of your annual income, regardless of the financing terms. Following this rule forces you into a cheaper, older, or less prestigious car today, but it mathematically guarantees you will never be trapped underwater paying interest on an asset that loses value every time you turn the key. That brings us to the binary mechanics of leverage. Borrowing money is only acceptable under one condition. The debt must be used to acquire an asset that generates yield or appreciates over time. Real estate construction is a prime example. If an 8% interest rate costs you 8,000 rupees a month, but it allows you to collect a 15,000 rupee monthly rent check, the leverage works. The asset pays for its own debt. Applying leverage to anything else is catastrophic. Borrowing money at high interest to fund a wedding, a vacation to Singapore, or a luxury phone is effectively pawning your future labor to finance a depreciating event. This brings us to the protocol for sudden wealth. When a large bonus hits, a property sells, or you get an inheritance, your brain's immediate response is to upgrade your lifestyle. The rule here is rigid quarantine. Any unexpected windfall must be locked into a fixed deposit for a minimum of 3 months. You do not touch it, and you do not look at it until the initial dopamine spike subsides. Surviving a cash injection has nothing to do with complex investment strategies. It is entirely an exercise in managing your ego and resisting the overwhelming social pressure to signal your new financial status to the outside world. Ultimately, protecting your capital relies far less on sophisticated mathematics and heavily on your ability to subdue your own ego. To make this actionable, look at this matrix plotting financial decisions by their long-term security versus their immediate status gratification. The traps lie in the top left. Financed vacations, 7-year car loans, and expensive hybrid insurance policies offer high social visibility but actively erode your long-term autonomy. The optimal moves sit in the bottom right. Buying term life insurance, enforcing the hourly wage math, and following the 24/10 car rule provide zero social status, but they secure your financial base. This operating system is built specifically for earners trying to plug a leaky bucket. It is not designed for advanced portfolio returns, nor will it solve the problems of someone whose primary issue is simply a lack of marketable skills and income. Never hesitate to invest in the things that compound your human capital, health, education, and quality food, but cut any expense designed to impress people you don't even like.